introduce Susan Rizzo.
And while the controller is coming up, I also want to also just recognize the first woman comptroller of Albany County, and also a wonderful colleague, straight shooter, always willing to jump in and assist the legislature in anything we've asked for. So I've really enjoyed working with you, Sue, and look forward to continuing our relationship.
Thank you, Countywoman Joanne Cunningham. I'm not sure, is this on? Now is it on? I lost my person. Is this on? Yes. Oh. Good evening, distinguished members of the Albany County Legislature. Thank you for making the time to allow me to present my fifth State of the Fisc. As you know, I am Susan Rizzo, your Albany County Comptroller. A special thank you to Mike Cavalieri and Mike Gleckus, as well as my deputy, Frank Camiso, and Chip Dott, as well as my chief accountant, Mike McNeff. I would like to thank Chair of the Legislature, Joanne Cunningham, and her great comments that she just gave me, Majority Leader Dennis Feeney, Vice Chair Wanda Willingham, Minority Leader Frank Moriello, and Clerk of the Legislature, Nicole Chambers, to make available the time for me to present. My presentation will provide details on the solid financial foundation the county currently enjoys. I understand there's a full schedule, therefore, if there is time remaining, I would be happy to answer any questions. My presentation is on video, and a PowerPoint will be made available. Thank you. I'm here to once again deliver Albany County's annual State of the Fisc. I will be giving a statement regarding the 2023 year-end fiscal picture and the solid financial foundation that puts the county in an excellent position in 2023 and going forward to 2024. On slide 3, let's start with the 2023 financial results. The required New York State annual financial report was due April 30th. This is an unaudited document. This annually updated document, called the AFR, was filed on time, again, for my 5th consecutive year. This was a great accomplishment by my accounting team. Slide 4 shows the general fund, unassigned fund balance compared to year over year. Fund balance is essentially the accumulation of annual surpluses or money the county has built up for future years. These funds are used throughout the year as cash flow fluctuates each month. Therefore, fund balance does not remain idle. As you can see from this slide, the general fund unassigned fund balance increased to $138.8 million, a $43.8 million increase, or 46.1% increase. When analyzing the unassigned fund balance, you shouldn't look at one number. You need to analyze multiple factors. One such factor being debt reserve and other reserves to help get a more accurate picture. An unassigned fund balance is a point in time, a reflection of the cash flow at that time. Slide 5, why did unassigned fund balance increase by $43.8 million or 46% at year-end 2023? I'll give you some context as to why 2023 increase was so great. In slide 6, the increase was primarily due to stellar sales tax results as compared to budget. Net sales tax to the county exceeded budget by $11.6 million, or 5.7%. In 2023, inflation was a substantial contributor. These unprecedented increases are projected to not continue at the pace sales tax has increased over the past 2 years. Another factor is our personnel costs. There were 543 vacant positions at year-end 2023, a $24.5 million savings. Even though this is a direct increase to fund balance, it is detrimental to Albany County and the services we provide. Going on to slide 8, regarding total interest income. The Commissioner of Management and Budget, as the Chief Investment Officer, works in conjunction with my office
to substantially increase interest income. Interest rates are higher. To maximize income, we are collectively investing every dollar, analyzing cash flow and reviewing bank balances. Also, the Comptroller's Office negotiates with the bank to maximize the minimum interest rates on checking and money market accounts. I am proud to report we recently negotiated increased rates by 25 to 35 basis points. Included in the general fund interest income is the ARPA funds, interest of $3.1 million. On our investment accounts, the interest rate is currently 5.3%, whereas at the same time last year it was 4.8%. Some economists indicate that interest rates would decrease by at least 25 to 50 basis points. Previous predictions indicated a reduction in the summer months with a second reduction in year-end. Due to inflation and global conflicts continuing, economists are now more conservative in their optimism. As you can see from slide 9, hotel occupancy tax also increased a mere $1 million, but at 10.8% increase. The current hotel occupancy tax is 6%, 2% to the Civic Center Debt Service Fund, 3% to the Albany Convention Center Authority, 1% to the Albany County Convention and Visitors Bureau. I'm bringing this up because at the end of 2024, the state legislature should address the allocation of occupancy tax as compared to previous years so Albany County receives an equitable share that could be dedicated to economic development. I encourage your advocacy regarding this matter. As you can see on slide 10, Albany County has a solid financial foundation. I would like to highlight Albany County's long-term debt. As you can see, the county's total debt has declined since 2020, primarily due to the Civic Center and the nursing facility renovations that were bonded in 2019. Most recently, my office has recommended not borrowing for 2 years in a row. Our debt avoidance over this period of time stands at $17.5 million. By reducing our debt, this puts Albany County in a strong position to achieve a better credit rating. Next, I would like to speak about 2023 audit highlights. The following audits were completed in 2023. 1. District Attorney's use of grant monies. 2. Performed inventory of all fixed assets, whereby my office located each and every asset on the books and adjusted the records accordingly. This work was completed in 2023. 3. My office established recording accounts receivable by departments beginning in 2022. A written policy and a procedure was developed relating to recording, collecting, and writing off accounts receivable. We continue to add additional departments to this program. 4. We audited 34 hotels to maintain compliance regarding hotel occupancy tax. In regards to future audits for 2024, 1. We have started a coroner financial activity audit. 2. We are reviewing inmate commissary accounts. The correctional facility annual cash audit related to inmate funds is performed to ensure compliance with New York State regulations. This review is ongoing. 3. Bank reconciliations continue to be analyzed. Other fiscal highlights. Previously, we discussed interest income for the general fund. In regards to all funds, the county made a total of $15.8 million, ahead of budget by $14.6 million. This includes ARPA interest income of $3.1 million and $3.2 million for capital borrowed and not yet spent. As highlighted on slide 17 regarding the utilization of ARPA funds, $7.7 million of the second tranche of $29.7 million still needs to be allocated by year end. The additional $29.7 million is to be allocated towards revenue recovery. Next, I would like to talk about the 24-25 priorities. My first priority is strengthening our credit rating from AA stable. In 2020, when I initially met with Standard & Poor's regarding what Albany County could do to increase their credit rating, they mentioned the following. 1, create a debt and fund policy. Done. OPEB liability correction identified, reduced by $300 million. Very significant. 3, have a substantial fund balance. Done. 4, reduce debt. I was listening. Done. My second priority is Albany County is going paperless. We are implementing electronic payments, including ACH, to increase security and reduce administrative burden. Also implementing electronic claim submission by departments. Those priorities are consistent with strong fiscal management with solid financial policies, practices, and oversight which are protecting Albany County taxpayers. In conclusion, when looking at the strong unassigned general fund balance, decreased long-term debt, increased sales tax collections, and our current strong credit rating of AA stable, the county has a solid financial foundation. We should be thankful for such an excess in fund balance today. But remember, not long ago in 2020, we had to borrow $40 million to meet the county's operational needs. Again, I would like to reiterate, if the county has ample cash, consider not borrowing for a larger portion of capital projects and using the general fund surplus to continue a policy of debt avoidance. Such a policy would be to the benefit of all county taxpayers and will be viewed favorably by credit rating agencies. I appreciate the efforts of this legislature. Thank you for your time and attention.
I'd be happy to answer any questions or say goodnight.
I have a question about the ARPA money. So the second tranche was around $30 million. Can you refresh my recollection as to when that hit our bank account?
That hit in June of 2021, I believe. So a year ago,
Oh,
or a couple of years ago.
so we were able to keep the interest money on that as it sat in the account. We don't have to disperse that to the entities.
The interest for ARPA goes into the general fund. So you can use that money. It doesn't have the same restrictions as ARPA.
Good. That's very nice.
Yes.
What is the average interest rate what are we getting on that?
So our interest rate now is like 5.38%. So last year I mentioned it was like 4.84%. So it's substantial. Interest rates have gone up substantially. That's why we only budgeted $1 million and we ended up making $15 million. That's why the fund balance has gone up so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, Mr. Graham.
So, yeah, your numbers, of course, are based on 2023, particularly the sales tax. Do you have any indication of what sales tax may be doing now that we're a few months into 2024?
Yes, sales tax, we just got another payment today, actually. So we're about a couple $100,000, nothing material. One compared to last year was up $1 million. Some of them are a couple $100,000 difference. So we're pretty much on target of what was last year, 2022.
And last year was a year, so that's a good
But we budgeted a little, slightly more than last year. It all depends on what you budget as far as you're getting fund balance. If you budget too low, the money goes into fund balance.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Burdoff.
In your statement, you were concerned about the amount of vacant positions and the fact that added $25 million to our fund balance. Now, we have historically had a whole lot of vacant positions. I mean, are you sort of, do you believe that we should be removing vacant positions or filling vacant positions? Because you seem to say that there some sort of is it a problem with service delivery, or is it a problem of overtaxing people for positions that we never intended to
Well,
fill?
comparatively speaking, this year, our vacant positions were much greater than the previous years. We always have vacant positions, but this was much greater because we can't hire people. We are, all efforts, not only us, the state, city, we're all looking to hire people, and it's been very difficult that we haven't been able to fill positions. They have, you all approved most recently, some of the benefits to Albany County regarding, I think, 12 weeks, I think you approved for pregnancy, time off, paternal, maternal. I think the benefits make a big difference for Albany County. One of the things that you brought up previously, that when we went from 20 years to 15 years for our medical benefits when you retire, the city and the state are 10 years. So when we were 20, and we went down to 15, it's still compelling, the difference, that we lose a lot of people to the state. A lot of people are moving on to the state, and their salaries are higher. So we always have vacancies, but it's grown substantially this past year. Yes, sir.
So a couple questions. On your slide that showed the difference between the interest income from this year versus last year, and I think it was, it went from like $1 million to like 15 million or something like that. And there were a couple items. One of them was, I think you said it was interest for money that has been borrowed but not yet spent.
Correct.
So but if we're borrowing money, aren't we paying interest on it also?
Okay, when we borrowed the money, just to give you an example, because if you borrow money at 2.5%, but we're making over 5%, that's the, we're making the money that we borrowed in itself. We did create arbitrage this past year, first time ever, so we had to pay the IRS like $90,000. So we are accruing for arbitrage, because when you borrow money, we like to spend it as quick as you borrow it. But we know projects take time and you need contracts and things of that nature. But that's why I stopped borrowing. I haven't borrowed for 2 years. We budgeted $40 million, I think, in '23 and $70 million in '24. So I'm not bonding money until we actually spend it, because even though you can make some interest income, you do take arbitrage is a factor. So that's one of the reasons. There was $34 million of unspent capital when I started, and we used that money for debt reserve, and that money has gradually gone down. I think it's about $8 million now.
Okay, so it sounds like that's a function of the fact that we borrow, like interest rates have increased somewhat rapidly over the past few years, and so we've been borrowing money and not spending it because projects take a while. And so when interest rates go up during that period of time, we get the benefit of the delta.
You get the delta, but you got to be careful. It's against the law to make money from borrowing over your borrowed rate. That's called arbitrage. In the past, our interest rates went down. They were so low compared to the money we may have borrowed that were 10-year bonds, 15-year bonds. So that's why I held borrowing, because even though the interest rate has gone up for both investing and borrowing.
Okay. So the other one was the ARPA funds, and there was already a question about that. So those are, I'm not on the ARPA committee, so I might not understand all, but so we're giving this money from the federal government to spend. I didn't realize, like, you're basically giving that as a lump sum that's just sitting in the bank?
Yes, we got 2 tranches of $29 million each.
Okay.
And so the money is invested, and the money is invested, and we calculate separately how much money we make on the ARPA funds, which we can use. It goes into the general fund, so it doesn't have the same restrictions as ARPA.
Okay, and so there might be some reason to sort of be judicious in how we spend that, because we're earning interest on it. until-
Okay, we're there though. So what happened is we got the money, so to say, we slowed our roll. We have these approvals that take place. You have to have what you're spending the ARPA money identified by the end of the year. So right now, the legislators are approving all the ARPA funds and what we're going to spend it on. and then by the next year, we have to actually spend the money.
Okay, so this is definitely,
Right.
okay, got it. Thanks.
So I'm sorry, I have another question. So the money that it just seems so odd to me that we would be able to keep the interest on the ARPA money, but then we can't really keep the interest on the loan money because of arbitrage. You said that was illegal. It just seems like such a windfall for us to get $15 or $14 million for holding money from the federal government. I'm on
No,
some of the
okay,
committees.
just to
I-
clarify,
Yeah.
the 15 million is not because of the ARPA funds. The 15 million is because we only budgeted $1 million. So when you budget 1 million and you make 14 million, that's why our fund balance has grown so much. Only 3 million of that was ARPA interest income,
Okay.
okay?
But we're still allowed to keep that, but we can't keep money from loan money when the interest rates go up because that's illegal. It's just, but yeah, I mean, as long as you're
We didn't
sure-
borrow the money for ARPA. They gave it to us. It was grants.
Yes, no, I know.
Bonding is different, and
Yeah.
bonding, you can spend the money, if you spend the money within 3 years, you don't trigger arbitrage. So my thing is now, I'm holding borrowing because we're so slow in actually spending our money, but we have 2 years to actually borrow the money. So I'm looking for the legislators then to see if we actually need to borrow the money at all because we have all this cash in our fund balance. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Do those funds have to be assigned, or can you spend those additional funds on other projects and then recoup
What fund?
the assigned project?
What funds?
The ARPA.
The ARPA funds, there's rules to spend the 29 million and 29 million tranches, but the interest income can go into the general fund and that we can decide to spend it on what we want to spend it on. Doesn't have to go by the ARPA fund
But
rules.
they're segregated funds, right?
We do identify them separately, but it goes into the general fund. We do identify it separately, though. Yes, sir.
Just on the arbitrage piece, so is that certain pots of money that essentially qualify as arbitrage? And I asked this question in the context, if I have $50 million in my ARPA money and I'm making interest, then I have debt over here that I'm on a lower interest rate. Does every fund that we have qualify as an arbitrage warning, or are there certain
Only
ones?
bonding, but you got to realize that some of our bonds are 15 years old. Previous to when I started in 2020, the previous controller did not invest the capital dollars as great as we're investing it. He only kept it in money market accounts. We invest everything. We work very closely with management and budget, and we invest every dollar we have. So that's why our interest income not only grew because of the interest rate, but it also grew because we're investing a lot more money, some of it being capital.
So what money are we at risk of violating the arbitrage clause when we invest in a money market or?
No, when we invest in greater than the interest rate, so we look at all the bonds. So some of the bonds, might be 5 years old, 6 years old, 8 years old. So we look at those interest rates. So we have an arbitrage consultant now. The legislators approved an arbitrage consultant, so it's a good thing to actually trigger arbitrage because you're making money for the interest rate for your bond. That you get to keep. You're basically borrowing for zero. So we're now accruing for if there is a dollar amount that we could trigger arbitrage, we're accruing for that now. So we're not in jeopardy. We know that if we made too much money in interest, we're accruing for the arbitrage, so we're not going to get surprised.
So it's sort of a global comparison of total interest versus interest in the bonding and how.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. And it's for the life of the bond, not just the 1 year. So since previously they didn't invest and maximize their interest rates, now we are. So we get to pick it up now.
Bonus.
Yes. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a question. As far as the cannabis revenue, is that a separate pool or how would that be allocated?
That's a good question. So today, we just got an allocation for cannabis. And we have, I think it started the end of last year. I think we got a couple quarters. And then it has to identify where does the money go. So last time it went 100% to Albany County as far as what municipality, because it goes back to the municipalities that actually have the cannabis store. So right now, we didn't get the allocation from the state. So I asked the state today, you know, what's the allocation? We think it's more than one. We think it's more than just Albany, but we asked that question. And it is separated in the financials.
The cannabis money goes back to the towns in which the stores generate the revenue,
Yeah,
100%?
No, Albany County keeps a portion, and then it goes back to the municipalities that has the store.
What about like non-cannabis stores, like Crossgates Mall and Gilderland? Is it the same proportion? Do you give back the money to the town in the same proportionate share for sales revenue?
Well, we get the information from the state. I'm assuming the state has the allocation for a store, even if it's in Crossgates or wherever it is. You have a question, Mr. Reed? No?
No, Madam Controller.
Okay. Any other questions? If you have any others, you can email me. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
If there's anyone in the chambers who would like to sign up to speak, you may come up now.
Are they here?
Yeah, so the county executive.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Joanne Cunningham, and I serve as the chair of the Albany County Legislature. The rules of the Albany County Legislature allow for a period of public comment before our monthly meetings. Our rules prohibit members of the public from questioning legislators and prohibit us from questioning you. This is your time to speak and our time to listen. In accordance with our rules of order, speakers will be allowed 2 minutes each tonight, and I ask everyone to please silence their cell phones. Before we get to the list of speakers, I'd like to take a moment for the issuance of 2 proclamations. First, we have with us 2 members of the Bethlehem Del Mar EMS program. We have a good friend of mine and an old colleague from the past, Chief Stephen Kroll, and his colleague, Lieutenant Jessica Yankulin. I would like to issue this proclamation on behalf of May 19th through the 25th, which is Emergency Services, Medical Services Week. On the 50th anniversary of EMS Week, we are very happy to recognize and highlight this year's theme, which is honoring our past, forging our future. So if I can invite Steve and Jessica up to the podium. I know many of us in this chamber have very close connections and relationships with our community EMS leaders. They are the lifeblood to a healthy community and ensuring that any bad thing that happens, these are the folks that appear and show up at your doorstep, and we truly, truly cannot thank you enough. We are thrilled to have Steve and Jessica with us on behalf of the many others in the county that we do recognize as well, and are very happy to have you with us. I'll read a little bit of the proclamation. We'll also make sure and send a copy of this to all the EMS offices throughout the county. Emergency medical services are a vital public service, and we owe a great deal to our EMS personnel for their dedication to providing life-saving skills to their communities. The members of EMS teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. Again, I'm very, very proud and honored to present this proclamation to Steve and Jessica, and I know you'll all join me in congratulating them in this this EMS Medical Services Week. So thank you so much for joining us.
The chairperson said I can just speak for one quick minute. We're just two representatives of hundreds of people from many agencies in our county that provide emergency medical services. We are incredibly blessed in Albany County to have the people we have doing EMS. If you read the newspapers, you will see that EMS is troubled all over the state and all over the country. But in Albany County, we have got a really great system. A lot of that happens from the support we get from our local governments and from the county. But I just want to mention the agencies that make up this team. And I hope that each one of you will take a moment next week to thank the ones that are in your legislative district. In the city of Albany, Mohawk Ambulance and Albany Fire Department and EMS. In the town of Colony, Colony EMS. In the town of Guilderland, Guilderland EMS. We're Delmar Bethlehem EMS from the town of Bethlehem. In the hill towns, we've got the Enniscorthaw Volunteer Fire Department still providing ambulance service. They're the smallest of our agencies. We have Helderberg EMS, and there are others as well. And also the Albany County Sheriff's Office EMS that provides coverage in certain parts of the community and backup in others. But when other communities are really struggling to make sure that when you call 911 with a medical emergency, someone comes, we do a really great job here in Albany County. And so I really want to thank the legislature for thinking of us this week, ask you to thank the people back home. We're just two representatives of really several hundred people that answer several 100,000 calls for assistance each year. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Jessica. At this point, I would like to invite Susan Petto, Legislator Susan Petto, who will be presenting a proclamation honoring Albany's marching falcons as they embark on their journey to France as the only representative from the United States to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings that liberated France.
We'd like to welcome the Albany Marching Falcons to the Albany County Legislature. This is a real honor for the Falcons and the band director, Brian Cady, who has done such a wonderful job with our students for so many years as they embark on a trip to France to be part of the D-Day celebrations in Normandy. The students are going to entertain us with a rendition of the national anthem. And before they do that, we'd like you each to introduce yourselves, please. Can you just shout your name out real loud?
Hi, my name is Masami Sarasawa.
My name is Anna Valdez.
My name is Veronica Allen. My name is Eli Stamos.
My name is Julia Davis. And this is
I'm Brian Keating.
Band director. And we actually have one more Albany Marching Falcon, an alumni. My daughter, Sophia Perlman, is with us today. She was a Marching Falcon when she was at Myers Middle
Where's she
School.
hiding? Where's your instrument?
Sorry. She didn't bring her flute today, but she was very happy to have the opportunity to be here and see a new group of students doing so well. Take it away.
Is it all right if I say a couple things real quick? Fantastic. I just want to share that this anniversary of D-Day, if you're not aware, is the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and it is an incredibly important opportunity for us to remember whom we call the greatest generation, the heroes of World War II. As of right now, There tends to be a big commemoration every 5 years. They thought the 75th anniversary, which we also had the honor of performing at, was going to be the last celebration honoring the veterans of World War II. There's still a few of them around, so they're doing this 80th anniversary, which is they're going all out for. There won't be an 85th. Our World War II veterans will not be here to celebrate that. These men and women are pushing 100 years old, if not older, at this point. So the idea of bringing students over one more time, I actually call it sort of like the Memory Keepers Tour, because it's our opportunity to take the next generation and have them experience history, living history, and pass that on so we don't forget. So, their efforts and their talents for this anniversary are truly amazing. This is a small sampling. We have 50 students going. The rest of them are at school practicing for parade on Saturday. So please, round of applause for the students before they even start. Very good. I'd like to rise for the national anthem.
Just two quick ones of the proclamations. Whereas on June 6, 2024, the Albany Marching Falcons will be the preeminent band to represent New York on an international stage along the shores of Omaha Beach in Normandy, France, in honor of the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, which took place during World War II. And whereas the entire county of Albany will be supporting the students, the band director, parents, and boosters of Albany's Marching Falcons with boundless pride and admiration. Congratulations and have a great day.
Chicken barbecue.
And yeah, we have two.
They're having a fundraiser, Brooks Barbecue fundraiser, I think the 28th.
Wednesday, the 28th or 29th, one of those.
Go online and order your chicken.
It's on a Wednesday, though?
Yeah, it's on a Wednesday. If anybody, wants, if you want to make a donation to the cause, our website is D-Day Band, so DDAYBand.com, and the information for the fundraiser. The Brooks Barbecue is our last one before we leave, and all that information is there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marching Falcons. Appreciate that. That was wonderful. Okay, clerk, please read the first name of the first speaker. Oh, we got to roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Beston. Bergdorf. Clay. Cleary. Collins. Camiso. Conway. Cunningham.
Here.
Demolowitz. Drake. Efakoro. Ethier. Feeney. Fine. Grimm. Andrew Joyce. Ray Joyce. Coon. Larilliard. Lakakis. Lockhart. Mariello. Mayo. McLaughlin. McLean Lane. Miller. Petto. Purley. Plosky. Reedy. Reinhardt. Ricard. Robinson. Rosano. Simpson. Smith. Ward. Whalen. Willingham. I have 33 present.
Thank you. Clerk, please read the first name of the first speaker.
Carol Waterman.
Hi. You've all heard me actually many times over the last 8 years say you can't get rid of me because you can't vote me out because I'm not elected. You can't fire me because I don't officially work here. But it turns out you can get rid of me. And Joanne has found a way. Really. Oh. Okay, I'm glad you like that, but I don't. Okay. For 8 years, I have been parking in the sheriff's lot, okay? And she told me that there were, quote, several complaints about it. Nobody had spoken to me about it, and I don't know who those people are. But in any event, she promised me that if I do it again, I will be towed. And she spoke to the executive secretary for Sheriff Apple, and he similarly assured me that I will be. Now, some of you might even be wondering, you know, you've known me a long time, and do I strike you ever as the kind of person who would just go, oh, yeah, my convenience? No. It's disability related. And I only have 2 minutes, so you're not going to get to hear about all of the disabilities that make that the only
30
place.
seconds.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I fall down a lot, and I don't lose consciousness. It's like kind of graying out, and I end up wherever, and I can't get up. Well, I don't want to fall in the road or on the sidewalk. And by the way, something I love about the sheriff's lot, that railing.
Time's
Okay.
up.
I'm sorry.
Time.
Oh, okay.
Clarification, Chair. You mentioned the sheriff. What is that? Can you clarify a little better for me, please? The sheriff, wants you not park everyone?
Actually, the sheriff.
Mr. Ethier, maybe you and Carol can have a little sidebar.
Yeah, it's called the sheriff's lot, and yes, it has been
Did he personally tell you how to get out of there?
What?
Point of order, though, we're not supposed to be mentioning individuals' names in particular.
Right,
so
right.
why don't
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Mr. Ethier, maybe you can have a conversation with Carol
Well, even the speaker
offline.
mentioned your name, Madam Chair.
Right. Clerk, please read the next name.
Joanne, please call me tomorrow about that situation. Not Joanne, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Carol,
I'm sorry.
that doesn't seem proper.
I'll be happy to talk.
Unless we move all the cars on.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Lynn Jackson.
Hello, my name is Lynn Jackson, and I live in Albany South End. First, I would like to note that as a small landlord with apartments near our house in Albany South End, I'm very disappointed the Albany County Legislature did not pass Resolution 88 introduced by Sam Fine that would fund lawyers for tenants. I hope the legislature will rework the bill and pass it soon. Next, I would like to speak about the treatment of my friend of 51 years, Carol Waterman, by the Albany County Legislature. I want to say that knowing Carol has enriched my life. I met her when I was a student at SUNY. However, some of Carol's greatest impact on my life has been her civic involvement with the Albany County Legislature. In the 8 years she's been coming to meetings, she has done a tremendous amount on anti-tobacco work. This is a major public health issue, and her work here has made life better for everybody. I also appreciate her example that we citizens need to be involved with our government to make things better for all of us. It is Carol that persuaded me to attend legislative meetings. It is with this in mind I am astonished the legislature is taking action to prevent Carol from attending meetings. For the past 8 years she's been parking in the lot on the corner of Lodge and Pine. She only parks there because of her disabilities. I know that her disabilities may be invisible, but they are very, very real. She's been told if she parks there again, her car will be towed. Carol has very severe allergies.
30 seconds.
Her allergies are so severe that she and I cannot get together in person because I have cats and she's allergic to cats. I'm really hoping that the legislature will be welcoming for all. I think that the legislature should at least set aside a couple of parking spaces specifically for people with disabilities, and I hope the legislature can take it into their hearts to let Carol park in that lot so she can get there. I mean, I am lucky, I'm fortunate, I can just walk down here, but Carol can't do that. She can't just walk down here. So I really hope that you will allow her to park. Thank you.
Catherine Coons.
Dear members of the legislature, hi, my name is Catherine Coons. I'm a New York State licensed speech pathologist. I have a master's degree in speech language pathology, a teaching certificate from New York State as a teacher of the speech and hearing handicapped, and I am certified by the American Speech Language Hearing Association. I have held a contract with Albany County as an independent contractor since 1996. Independent contractors, as I, provide speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy to the preschool population of Albany County, which are comprised of 3 to 5-year-olds. We are here to inform you that we have not seen a pay increase since the program was started in 1981. No pay increase for the past 43 years. Our rates do not reflect a salary, but a reimbursement rate for a small business using a 1099 tax form. I would like to take this time to explain to you what exactly factors into our session rate. First, I would like to describe to you what our overhead costs consist of. As independent providers, we are responsible for our own health insurance, disability insurance, malpractice insurance, and funding our own retirement. We also need to pay for the renewal of our New York State license, our yearly membership dues to national associations, and continuing education, such as conferences, so that we may continue to practice in our field. Since we travel to each client using our own personal vehicle, we are responsible for paying for the gas and the wear and tear on our vehicles. Personally, I put on at least 1,000 work miles per month. We are not reimbursed for this. We are also required to carry more automobile insurance than the average driver to secure our contracts with Albany County. Also included in our expenses are the therapy equipment, toys, books, materials, office supplies, postage, and the copy and fax
Time.
machines. Time?
Yeah. You can finish.
No pay increase for 43 years.
If you have a written statement, you can leave it up front and we'll share it with everyone if you'd like. Yeah, I will.
Good evening. My name is Camille Bushell. I'm a speech-language pathologist who currently works as a contractor with Albany County, providing speech therapy to preschool children ages 3 to 5. We're here to ask for help in securing an increase in pay, given we have not been paid, as you just heard, had an increase since 1981. Basically, the research overwhelmingly indicates the intervention is likely to be more effective when it's provided earlier in life as opposed to later. However, there are waiting lists for preschool services in every school district in Albany County that I'm aware of due to a shortage of preschool therapists and lack of reasonable pay. We not only provide direct therapy for the child, but also support strategies for the teachers, the parents, the entire family. We provide materials to the family we're not reimbursed for. We consult with the teachers to provide strategies to decrease maladaptive behaviors that our children exhibit because they cannot communicate. Those teachers need our materials, they need our consultations, they need our strategies. None of it is billable time. We write an IEP, an individualized education program for the next school year, which is a really big deal. That includes standardized testing, which we buy the test for, data collection, data analysis, justification for services. We have meetings on the IEP. All of this determines
30 seconds.
what will happen to the child in terms of their academic structure next year and any services they qualify for. We get paid for none of the advocating that we do for this child in terms of the teachers, the meetings, the district, and the county representative. We get paid a session rate, which has not changed since 1981.
Thank you.
Okay.
I really can't read the first name, but the last name is Brevenu. What's the first name?
Good evening. I'm going to talk fast so I can get everything in. My name is Julie Bevenu, and I'm an independent speech pathologist that provides services to preschool students in Albany County. There are several key points I would like to add to those of which my colleagues have just presented. First, I'm going to assume that everybody here uses the internet. In fact, most of us probably don't really remember life before it. Well, just to put things in perspective, our current pay rate was established before the internet was created. Fact, January 1983 is the official birthday of the internet. Our pay rate was determined in 1981 when I was in grade school, and it has remained the same. No cost of living increase ever. Adjusted for inflation, $1 in 1981 is the equivalent of $3.44 today. It has been 43 years. Second, we keep being told that Albany County is in the top 3 highest paid. This information is incorrect and posted on the New York State Education Department website. There are 37 counties that are paid higher than us. We are in the bottom 20. Third, our pay schedule is not one that you can survive on if you are in a single-income household. This school year, I started work like every other person in education on September 6, 2023. My first paycheck came on December 2nd. And that's not just this year. Last year, it came on December 3rd. Fourth, on October 9th, our Albany County Executive, Dan McCoy, was on the news discussing the $819 million Albany County budget, his 12% raise, and that of others in the county. He stated how proud he was to say, and I quote, "We are on good fiscal, solid ground. We built our foundation."
30 seconds.
We built our foundation, we made the tough decisions, we have 19 unions in the county, thousands of workers that we have taken care of through COVID, made the tough decisions, rolled up our sleeves, thought outside of the box, and I will say this, our fiscal health is strong, end quote. Unfortunately, we are not part of the 19 unions of which he claims to have taken care of. Finally, we have a petition here and online with hundreds of signatures. We have support of parents, teachers, assistants, principals,
Time.
and now we're asking for yours. We need your help. We have tried to go through numerous other channels and have exhausted our options. We sent a letter detailing all of this information to the county executive's office. We also had a meeting with them this past December. We've emailed, had countless phone calls, contacted numerous departments for assistance in this matter. It has been extremely difficult to get any response from anyone that will lead to a change. This has been beyond frustrating, to say the least.
Time.
Nothing has changed. You will lose more therapists, and you will lose more programs, and the number of students not being serviced will increase. These services are required, and students must have their needs met. It is their right. Thank you, and I hope you consider this matter.
Heather Passaretti.
Good evening. I'm also a preschool provider. I provide occupational therapy services to children that are 4 to 5 years old. I'm here to just let you know a little bit why we're also here. It's not just for the pay raise, but it's also for the children and the families. As you heard, we haven't had a raise in 43 years. We don't get paid in a timely manner, and we are ignored when we reach out to discuss to resolve these issues. We need these issues addressed so that we can retain the therapists we have in Albany County. We're struggling and we all want to leave, as well as lure in new ones. The youth don't want to do this job anymore. It's hard. According to the CDC, 1 in 6 children have a developmental disability. Diagnoses with the highest increase are autism and ADHD. In the year 2000, there was 1 in 150 children with autism. Today, there's 1 in 36. In 1997, 6% of the children were diagnosed with ADHD. Now, it's 10 to 12%. If these numbers continue to rise at this rapid rate, we are going to need more providers to help service the children in our community. In February, Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli conducted an audit on early intervention, which is children from birth to 3, which he discovered 48,000 children did not receive therapeutic services, which they're entitled to. 27,000 children did not receive authorized services within 30 days, which is an IDEA law. 3,000 children did not receive anything at all that they were authorized to. When these children reach the age of 3, they qualify for preschool with disabilities. They come to us. They haven't received any services. If he audited CPSE, he would find these numbers are the same. The wait lists are long. And then they're going to go to the school district without any services at all. So help us resolve this community issue by supporting us so we can continue to support the children of Albany County. Thank you.
Zarina Jalal.
Good evening. My name is Zarina Jalal. As many of you know, I'm a pharmacist, but I'm also the co-founder of the Albany Muslim Advocacy Coalition, or AMAC. I have a petition that I just handed to Nicole, signed by 50 people that live, work, or do business in Albany County, and they're opposed to Resolution 218, which is on your new proclamation policy. Firstly, AMAC is troubled that the policy suggests that the proclamations won't be issued on controversial topics. I think for some of you, this job is a capstone after a generation of, or decades of public service, but for some of you, this job is a cornerstone. It's a foundation for your career in public service, and if you don't engage in civil discourse around difficult issues, you are robbing your colleagues of a valuable opportunity. We are also concerned by the clause that says proclamations shouldn't be used to urge other governments to take action. Policies at the state and federal level, for example, directly impact life in the Capital District. In January, changes to the Medicare program impacted how pharmacies were reimbursed. And in fact, pharmacy has closed in this country every single day this year. And that trend has also been affecting people in the Capital District. Last week, Town Total Pharmacy closed after 15 years of serving the HIV population in this community. You are all advocates for everyone in this community, and you should be using every device at your disposal to do so. Lastly, this policy creates a mechanism for creating requests, but it doesn't compel an answer. AMAC is concerned that by not requiring a response when a request is denied, a less moral group of legislators in the future will apply this policy in a discriminatory manner. For the record, AMAC fully supports a policy surrounding proclamations, but we feel that this one needs more thought and consideration before it is brought to the floor for approval. Thank you.
Mike McGlynn.
Thank you for permitting me to speak about the county emergency management plan. Our global warming crisis is a public health hazard with health risks to our neighbors. The 2019 County Heat Health Profile Report summarizes heat-related illnesses, including risks of cardiovascular and kidney diseases, while suggesting outreach and educational material, municipal cooling centers, adaptive mitigating resources by climate-smart communities, and other heat adaptive measures. FEMA is administering the 2024 Emergency Management Performance Grant Program with a June 24th application deadline for state and municipal EMS agencies, voluntary organizations active in disasters, nonprofit organizations, and faith-based congregations. Do you think the several climate-smart communities in the county could agree with the Green Island Power Authority to obtain federal and state monies to develop microgrid, non-nuclear, renewable energy production facilities and distributed battery storage unit systems to EMS operational centers, congregate shelters, and cooling centers?
30 seconds.
I received a county government email last month about personal emergency kits. The American Red Cross store webpage provided various kits for individuals and families ranging in prices from $45 to $330. I am aware of our vulnerable neighbors living in unsanitary poverty who cannot afford to purchase Red Cross disaster kits or reusable cold packs.
Time.
Do you think the county government will contract a partnership with the American Red Cross, nonprofits, and faith-based congregation to purchase and distribute emergency kits with cold packs for our vulnerable neighbors? Thank you.
Joe Ritchie.
Hi, my name is Joe Ritchie, a lifelong Cohoes resident. I'm here today to speak on the support of Lights Out Norlight of Local Law E, which would prohibit the hazardous waste ash that Norlight creates, and they recycle it into their product. We're here to just bring awareness to this local law because for decades the voices of those who live in Cohoes, and particularly at Saratoga sites, which no longer exist because of the pollution at the Norlight facility. We were just recently moved out of our homes, forced out of our homes, and now our homes that we've had for so long will be demolished in the coming years. We're hoping that the county can pass Local Law E, which was gratefully, we really appreciate Mert Simpson for introducing this law, and we have now an informational video about this law on YouTube that we'll be forwarding to you if we not have already about this particular law. But I really just want to say that this law is important for those of Cohoes, but the entire county. We're tired of seeing black snow in our community, dust on our windowsills, and people just coughing and getting diseases that we're unsure why. So we really encourage the county to look into this law. Please ask us as many questions as you can because it's a complicated issue, but we're here to educate you guys on this issue because we need this passed and we need the voices of those who are no longer able to speak heard. So thank you so much.
Christine Primo.
Hi, my name's Christine Permomo. I live in Queens, New York. First, I want to say I'm thrilled to be at the very first Albany County Ledge meeting with two women at the helm. It's about time. I'm also here with the Clean Air Coalition of Greater Ravenna Queens and Lights Out Norlight in solidarity with them. We've been with them since the inception of the Lights Out Norlight group, helping them to try to bring awareness to this horrible Norlight polluter in our communities. We're asking the Albany County Legislature to please adopt this local law E that would require Norlite to properly dispose of the hazardous fly ash that they produce and prohibit the use of this hazardous fly ash in the products that they actually sell. So the Norlite plant in Cohoes right now just is burning hazardous waste that comes from, I don't know where it comes from, but they bring it to the plant, they burn it as fuel in its operations, and they turn that shale into aggregate, which it sells to the building industry. We don't know what people are buying this products and where it's going, but it has a lot of toxic metals in this fly ash. Dave Pueblo video that Joe just mentioned, I hope you all watch it, because in 14 minutes, you will get what's going on there in the last, since 1990, right? Since you guys started fighting this. This incineration of the hazardous waste at Norlite
30 seconds.
produces fly ash, flue gas, and all kinds of other emissions. So we hope that you will seriously look at this bill, pass it, and help to stop this pollution in our community that doesn't stay here. It even goes out all over the New York State, downstate, east and west. So because, as their t-shirt says, we all breathe what they burn, please pass this local law E.
Mert Simpson?
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Merton Simpson. I'm the Albany County Legislator for the 2nd District. That's Arbor Hill, Sheridan Hollow, Washington Park, and West Hill. And I'm speaking today because my colleagues know that I'm not the most loquacious person here. I don't feel the need to show that I had an education or to speak on every point. But the issue of the proclamation policy that we're proposing is something that I feel very strongly about. If we pass this, this would be the second only issue that made me be embarrassed about being a member of this body. For most of my tenure, I was first elected for the 2012 term, so I'm in my 4th four-year term. I've been very proud of this institution and the work that we've done. I have colleagues who've recommended that I go for higher office. I pointed out that in addition to it being very costly, we are very efficient in juxtaposition to the US Congress, which is gridlocked, or even the state assembly and Senate. So I think that the product that we come out with is an excellent one, and I think there's good reason for us to be proud. But the proposed policy is a radical deviation from everything we've done up to this point. And I'm particularly incensed that I believe this policy has been created in reaction to a proclamation that myself, Sam Fine, and the late Matt Peter were working on about
30 seconds.
ceasefire in the Middle East. I just want to go on record as saying, as elected officials, most of us are probably members of the Abrahamic tradition, that is, Christians, Muslims, or Jews. And in those faith traditions, there's a responsibility to bear moral witness. I think, as a body, if there's something that we don't agree on, we can state that, but in contradistinction to the Common Council that makes laws or resolutions about things they can't control, I think our proclamations give voice and leadership to contentious issues. So I'm pretty sure this will pass, but I want to go on record as saying I'm radically opposed to it. I think we are not fulfilling our responsibility.
Thank you, Mert.
Diana Abatry. Abatry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Diana Abady, and I have a Master's of Science in Public Health, and I'm here today to give you 2 quotes from state employees with regard to the toxicity of waste at Norlite. So, Norlight's dust is dangerous. Mr. Benjamin Potter, New York State DEC professional engineer, stated in his New York State Supreme Court, Albany County, November the 3rd, 2020 affidavit. Unfortunately, the data I have reviewed indicates that Norlight has failed to utilize its air monitoring program to comply with New York State law and thereby protect the public from harmful emissions of air contaminants. The second quote is from Dr. Ji Pyu Wu, who's the environmental scientist, and she's the Office of Attorney General liaison to the New York State Department of Health, and she did a lot of modeling explained in her affidavit, and this is what she said. The people residing at Saratoga sites and in surrounding areas are likely to have been exposed to levels of sea silica above those
30
determined
seconds.
to protect against adverse long-lasting effects from chronic long-term disease because of the exposure. And so why is this so? The people at Norlight, the employees, people in public health divide groups into occupational health and community health. But the employees of Norlight wear masks when OSHA regulations deem PM matter
Time.
too high. But the people in the community where this dust is blown to over years don't wear masks, and they don't do shift work. So some of them are exposed 24/7 for long periods of time. So I
Time.
just want to ask you to please reduce the risk to the community by supporting local law E in 2024. Thank you very much.
David Pablo?
Good evening. My name is Dave Pablo. I live in Troy, New York, and my name has been mentioned a couple times. I'm the videographer who's been working on a documentary about Norlight for the last 4 years. I've interviewed many of the families who used to live at Saratoga sites. I've also interviewed many people who live in the surrounding neighborhoods. Earlier today, I sent, or tried to send all of you a link to a YouTube video that I put together. It's basically a condensed version of the documentary. It's 14 minutes long. It really is not a waste of time at all for any of you. And you will learn a lot about what's been going on over there. In terms of Norlight burning hazardous waste as fuel, and then taking the dust captured by their pollution control system, turning it into a product, piling it in massive piles that blow with every gust of wind into our surrounding communities, to the tune of 56 tons per year of fugitive dust. This is not my figure, this is the Attorney General's figure. Also, we're talking 93,000 tons of block mix, which is the product that they create with this hazardous waste dust. They sell that. Many consumers may not know what they're getting, and for the ones that do, this could be going into things like concrete or road construction. This stuff
30
is everywhere.
seconds.
So local law E is an attempt to take away an exemption that Norlight has misused for the past 30 plus years. The DEC has been moving too slowly on this issue, and local residents have suffered and will suffer in the future from this toxic waste dust. Please take the time to watch the video. I'm available at any time to answer any questions you may have, and I can supply sources, whatever you need. So thank you very much.
Is it Tish? Tina? Morrissey? What's the first name? Oh, sorry, that didn't look like does not look like Tom.
Tish, yeah.
Hello, my name is Tom Morrissey. I come to speak in support of Local Law E, which is about hazardous waste. So I live about 2 miles from the Norlite plant, and because of the dust that I see on my windowsills and elsewhere, and the burning stench that I smell at my house sometimes when I walk through the neighborhood, I joined Lights Out Norlite. It's the group you might have seen in the back. About 4 years ago when I joined the Lights Out Norlite, there were only about 20 people in the group. Now their mailing list is over 5,000. There are only about, we all want to stop the pollution and health dangers from Norlite. The pollution that comes from the incinerator is a clear and present danger to the community. We have heard of neighbors of the Norlite plant contracting cancer. Even multiple family members have been affected. The pollution must not be allowed to escape their site. I and many others with whom I have spoken wonder why the pollution still continues at Norlite. Now the Attorney General's office is engaged, and I and others feel as if finally the strength of New York State can be brought to bear on Norlite to protect the citizens. But as we have seen, the AG's lawsuit grinds on with no clear end in sight. The record of Norlite's pollution is well known.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. Is well known and stretches for over 30 years. It has been so bad that the DEC declared the neighborhood nearby an environmental justice zone and included the public housing complex, Saratoga Sites. The pollution was so bad that the complex was closed. So what about the remaining neighbors who are still there? So we have to protect those folks. I urge the Albany County Legislature to use their power to pass a law denying Norlite the ability to put their hazardous waste ash into their products. This will deny Norlite a reason to burn the hazardous waste and no reason for this waste to come to our town. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maria Cordette. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight. I will speak very briefly, actually. I just want to thank the legislatures very much for considering Local Law E. I don't want to repeat everything that has been said and will be said because, you know, you will find out a lot about the hazardous waste emissions from the Norlite plant. And so, again, I urge you to see the video that's been sent to you. I also sent you a link to the video, so I really hope that you will watch it because that will give you some of the history and some of the issues of the emissions. So I've also lived in the town of Colony for over 30 years, and when I moved in, I was told that Norlite existed. Norlite, by the way, is a Spanish company. It's part of a Spanish conglomeration. And some of us have a hard time understanding why the hazardous waste is has been allowed to burn there for so long, because the product is fueled in the kilns by hazardous waste. And so, you know, it's very problematic. But, you know, I'll just tell you one quick story. I used to go to the farmer's market in Troy and talk to people and just inform people, educate people about Norlite, just to let people know what was going on. Often I met people, scientists from labs around here, who said to me, yes, my lab sends our hazardous byproducts to Norlite. Where else could we possibly send the byproducts? What can we do with them? Well, the best thing to do with hazardous waste is to bury it, to put it in landfills, and that's where it should be. It should not be burning in kilns. Okay, so thank you very much. And I really hope that you will consider and support Local Law E. Thank you very much for your time.
Mina?
We live in a great country where we get to vote, we vote for local politicians, we vote for representatives in the House, and we vote for our president. Most of the time, the politicians that hold a seat in the upper government first held a local position. Local is where many of these politicians get their start. Anna Quindlen, author of Quilt of the Country, wrote, "America is an improbable idea. A monogrel nation built of ever-changing, disparate parts. It is held together by a notion that all men are created equal. As a politician, one must be educated on the disparate parts of the great country, the United States. That reality is that we are a mix of so many different cultures, races, and religions. There is a bounty to controversy. It is the politician's job to manage these controversies in seamless and effortless manners. If a politician cannot manage such issues, then they are not fit for political office. Politicians must be able to fairly represent their constituents in order to afford all constituents their unalienable rights. Resolution 218 says that the proclamations related to the controversial or polarizing issues, ideological or religious beliefs will generally be not issued. It seems that the politicians should be qualified to handle such matters and diffuse the tension that these matters cause. In addition to that, the statement says that the proclamations will generally not be issued, which implies that there is an override that will allow exceptions. Who is to say that these exceptions will not be biased? Modifications to this policy need to be made and implemented to ensure a fair implementation. Thank you.
There are no more speakers.
Is there anyone else in the chamber who wishes to speak? Come to the front and sign in, please.
My name is Brad Blauhut. I'm here on behalf of Lights Out Norlight, and I'm sure you've all heard why we're here. I just would like to keep this brief. I think that I have the right to breathe clean air. I don't understand why Norlight gets to take that away from me, because they need to make more money. So with that in mind, I'd like to just say, please support Local Law E. Thank you.
Good evening, legislators. My name is Daniel Morrissey. I'm the Director of Sustainability at TAP Inc., which is the Community Design Center of the Capital Region. We're a nonprofit architecture practice in business for 55 years. I'm here to support Local Law E. Thank you very much, Legislator Simpson, for proposing it. This law is a no-brainer. The building industry is by far the most polluting industry on Earth, and much of this pollution comes from building materials production. These materials tend to be made in low-income communities of color. Most building materials do not contain secondhand hazardous waste. So this is kind of the worst of the situations when it comes to building materials production. Norlight, therefore, is the exception. We do not expect our homes and other buildings to make us sick, but that is all too common because of mold, mildew, lead, and asbestos exposure. I'm an EPA certified lead remediator, and in that training, you learn how to manage lead dust, essentially, and make sure that pregnant women, children are not exposed to that substance. So, of course, lead is one of the materials that is brought to Norlight, burned, goes up their smokestacks. Maybe, let's say, around 70% of that is caught by their pollution control system. That becomes the aggregate that they pile
30 seconds.
Huge piles on the site, and that is blown by the wind that we've heard about. The other 30% goes up the smokestacks and goes potentially even 90 miles over, to Vermont, Massachusetts, wherever, and hits my home over in Troy. So I think that this law is a really simple way to protect the citizens of Albany County and the surrounding region. So I urge you very strongly to support it. Pass Local Law E. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else in the chamber who wishes to speak? The public forum is now closed. Before we get to tonight's meeting, there's going to be 2 post-public forum meetings taking place in the VAC room. We have the Law Committee and the Audit and Finance Committee. take your seats, we will now call the meeting to order. We'd now like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. In honor of yesterday's Mother's Day, I would ask all the women of the legislature and all the women in the chamber who are, whether you're a mother or not, you are undoubtedly mothering a human or pet or somebody, and we applaud you for your mothering skills. Join us in leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk, please call the roll.
Beston. Bergdorf. Clay. Clary. Collins. Camiso. Conway. Cunningham. Demolowitz. Drake. Efacoro. Ethier. Feeney. Fine. Grimm. Andrew Joyce. Ray Joyce. Cohn. Lariller. Lakakis. Lockhart. Moriello. Mayo. McLaughlin. McLean Lane. Miller. Petto. Purley. Plosky. Reedy. Reinhardt. Ricard. Robinson. Rosano. Simpson. Smith. Ward. Whalen. Willingham. 34 present.
Madam Clerk, I'm here also. Thank you. Clerk, please read Resolution 217.
Amending the rules and regulations for Albany County employees regarding compensatory time.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Please read 218.
Establishing a policy.
Clerk, just 1 second. At committee, we added some additional language. First, I'd ask for a motion to amend the language. It is at your place. You can see the highlighted change on the second page of it. Motion to amend it by Mr. Feeney, seconded by Mr. Moriello. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The amendment passes. All those in favor of Resolution 218? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Got one opposed, two opposed. We'll do a long roll call vote.
I would like to speak on this actually.
Me too. Sure, Mr. Efacoro.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, for the recognition. This resolution, I believe, does not come at the right time, in a better way to put it, because on this resolution it says proclamations will generally not be issued for the following purposes. And the bullet one, it says for groups or individuals located or residing primarily outside of Albany County. In the past 2 years, I have given out proclamations to individuals, international artists. For example, people who come from my country of birth, Nigeria, to perform in Albany County. I've given a proclamation to them, mostly from the city of Albany, because each time I come to the county to write a proclamation and stuff, they said it's not enough time. And so even though they say it's not enough time to get the proclamation ready, I always end up getting something from the city of Albany. But I think this is going to be discriminatory against nationalities, against international groups, because on here also it says proclamations also will not generally be issued for the following purposes. And another bullet on here says national or international groups requesting a proclamation. I'm a member of the organizations of the National Organization of Nigerians in the Capital District. And right now, this what is written here does not have a definition of national or international groups. So the Association of Nigerians in the Capital District can be considered an international group because it's an association of Nigerians, an organization. So we need definitions on this as well to see what exactly we are voting on. And for these reasons, I'm going to be voting no on this resolution.
Mr. Fine.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I will be voting no on this. I think it's important to have a policy. I think it's good that, Madam Chairwoman, that you went forward with creating a policy, and I applaud you for doing that, but I have some issues with pieces in the policy. Especially, so as Legislator Effortoro highlighted, under the proclamations generally not issued, it has controversial or polarizing issues, ideological or religious beliefs, and urging another elected official or system of government to act on an issue or legislation. I think that last one I mentioned is especially important. You know, I can see the state capitol from this window. You know, we're in the capital of the state. The state passes a lot of legislation that's very impactful for our constituents, and I think it's part of our role to speak up on those issues formally, especially when they impact Albany County and impact our constituents. So I think this policy is too restrictive. I think it would be best for us to go back to the drawing table because it is important to have a policy. I support that, but I can't support the policy as it's currently written.
Ms. Lakakis.
I would like to start by saying that I love process and I like to have a written rule because, you know, many times we get in these conversations and it's always nice to go back to what's real and what we've decided on. And in the conversation I was just having in the back with some constituents who spoke out against this, they did mention something that this doesn't really contemplate the proclamations that are requested and not fulfilled. So there's no record that if, say, 10 of a certain kind of person ask for a proclamation, or the process by which a citizen can ask for a proclamation, which I had said that usually you ask your legislator, and your legislator puts it forth, and then if it's rejected, then the legislator can take it on and take it up to the number of votes received. Like the legislator would be doing that work and not the staff. So I discussed how I thought that was a good thing in the process here, that staff wouldn't be spending a lot of time doing things that we weren't going to agree upon anyway. So I just thought that was a reasonable thing to consider, and I probably am going to vote for this because I like it for the most part, but I am going to suggest that we review it after a certain amount of time and see how it's working for us, because I do think we should be keeping track of all of the requests and whether we fill them or not. Well, thank you.
Ms. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I don't think I'm going to be supporting this. And when I looked at this, the proclamations will not be generally issued for the following purposes. I got issues with several of these myself. And as my colleagues spoke, it became even more clear to me. We are an international city. We have people that are here from every country around the world. We've got the 27 languages spoken in our public schools. And yet we're going to say that we're not going to have a national or international group requesting a proclamation. This doesn't make sense to me. And I too want to support the last statement that my colleague Legislator Fine said. I don't know, I have not in the many years gone up to the legislature and on a Tuesday to lobby for anything, and I believe we need to do more than that, more of that. But if we can't even do a proclamation asking them to support something that we are supporting, then where does our voice get heard? And I know we can speak to them on an individual basis, but I think that it is important that we put our position in writing and be able to do that through a proclamation to our leaders at the state level. So for those reasons, I probably won't be supporting this tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Drake?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I think it's pretty good. There's one issue that I have, like I think also Legislator, what Carolyn just said. It says here proclamations will generally not be issued. You know, I think most of you know that what I stand for as a citizen and a legislator is generally based on freedoms and individual freedoms. And as such, I find a little bit of a gatekeeper clause in here. And I think that while we may not agree with everybody's idea of what proclamation should be, we should be allowed to bring it. And then other legislators can decide if they wish to be a part of that or not be a part of that. So on that basis, I just think it's important. You know, I think that our proclamations should be supportive of United States citizens and their interests. But other than that, we should have the freedom to bring anything that we feel is relevant. And again, while I generally don't support things that have little to do with our area, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the right to bring them. Thank you.
Mr. Bergdorf?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I think people are worried a lot about nothing. There is an amendment in here, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, in addition to official proclamations of the legislature, members of the legislature continue to have the ability to issue statements and proclamations under their own name or letterhead, as do the individual caucuses of the legislature. So if people want to get together and do a resolution that says the sky is red, they can do it. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing it, but that resolution doesn't have to be the official policy of the Albany County Legislature. If you have the requisite number of people supporting it, you end up with a resolution that is the official policy of the Albany County Legislature. So there's nothing here that stops any individual member from saying or doing whatever they want. And we thank you for that clarification, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Bergdorf. I'm going to stop us right here as the author and just make a comment that this PROC policy has been under development for quite a long time, predating my start here, and start here, not start here. And we've made some changes, but what I would like to do is we will send it back to rules, but I would encourage all of you that have strong opinions to join us in the committee deliberation, because we did have some good discussions, and that resulted in the change that we added. So invite you all to join us in the rules reform discussions about this policy. So sending back to rules, is that okay? Can we move, or you want to?
I just want to give one comment on the record. I think, you know, we right now might have a sense of what we intend, but I think it's a bad portent for the future, for future legislators, to have this chilling effect that we're going to be xenophobic and only on an exceptional basis look at broader issues. I think the actual history that I've had between 2012 and today hasn't had an overwhelming number of proclamations proposed. Usually we circulate it and we either get enough signatures or not enough to go forward. So I don't think it's broken, so I don't think we need to fix it. I think the existing policy has worked very well. I don't know if there's been any negative implications that I can see from anything we've done in the past. I think this present policy is totally restrictive and sets a chilling effect and a bad tone. I think we need to be open, not closed, and we'll continue this discussion later.
Okay, sending back to rules. Clerk, please read Resolution 219.
Amending the Albany County Legislative Rules of Order to provide clarification.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. Please read 245.
Public hearing on proposed local law number F for 2024, a local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 270 of the Albany County Code to provide a real property tax exemption for living quarters for parent or grandparent.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 248, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Upstate Companies for window upgrades at the Albany County Marillac Shelter.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 249, please.
Authorizing the submission of applications for various grants for the Albany County Water Purification District.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 250, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Direct Energy Business for the supply of electric to various county facilities.
Please no exception.
Thank you, Mr. Joyce. All those in favor, noting an abstention by Mr. Joyce. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. Resolution 251, please.
Authorizing an agreement with CKM Electrical Services for electrical construction services for the Lawson Lake Upper Camp renovation project.
I think that's 252.
I'm sorry. Authorizing an agreement with Gallo Construction Corporation for general construction services for the Lawson Lake Upper Camp restoration project.
All those in favor? Mr. Graham?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm in opposition to this resolution. I was fortunate enough to spend a good part of my Saturday morning with Minority Leader Moriello. We went out to Lawson Lake, and I would encourage every member to go out there. It's pretty shocking. You go to the upper camp cabins, and the wood is rotting, the screens are ripped off, the glass is gone. It's going to cost a fortune just to renovate the upper camp. And then you go down to the lower camp, and there's no swimming signs everywhere, so there's no swimming at this location. But you hear the term location in real estate, and this is really about the county becoming a real estate developer. And it's not in a good location. It's out of the way to get to. I'm sure most of my Dublin constituents, Conley constituents, they've never heard of Lawson Lake, and even fewer have ever been there. And yet we're talking a monumental investment. Tonight we're talking $3.7 million. This is the openers. The plan is, and I don't know if everybody's familiar with it, but according to a resolution passed last year, the master plan is to have high-end hotel living. Concerts there, conference rooms, tent sites, RV campgrounds, a nature center. And of course, there's going to have to be staff, expanding staff, to manage all this, especially if they're overnight. Now you're talking 24/7 operation and security. So should the county be in the real estate development business to the extent it is? My answer is absolutely not. And this $3.7 million that we're proposing tonight is just an opener. It's going to be millions and millions more to realize this plan, even though there's no specific language in the resolution tonight that tells exactly what's going to happen in the future. So for many of those reasons, I'm opposed to this, and I hope you will be too. Thank you.
Mr. Bergdorf?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I too am going to vote against this and the comparable resolutions that follow. I have been asking for 18 months since we did approve an engineering report in the Public Works Committee to do an evaluation of Lawson Lake. And I think it was a $275,000 engineering study. And at that time, I asked, what are we going to do there? And the response from the county was, well, we really don't know. So we're going to have the engineering folks go up there, take a look around, and see what they recommend, and come up with a master plan. So we got a master plan. I asked whether or not there was going to be a seeker done, and they said, well, geez, we really don't know. It depends on what people ultimately want to do or not do. Then, probably about 3-4 months ago, we had a meeting of the Capital Review Committee. And when we got to the recreation budget, there was a $12 million number in it, of which I think about $4 million was allocated to Lawson Lake. This is 4 months ago. And I asked once again, we have a number attached attached to Lawson Lake? And they said, oh yes, we have a $4 million number. And I said, well, can anybody tell me what we're going to do out there? And well, you know, we're not really quite sure yet, you know. There was some discussion about having it be a retreat site for crime victims. And, you know, they were going to, it was a good place to put crime victims out in Lawson Lake, you know, a secure location. Well, I said to myself, and I leaned over to someone in the committee and said, wow, it sounds like we're going to need a lot of staff, security, etc. We're going to need a seeker determination because they're putting in water systems and waste removal systems up there. So I don't know whatever happened to the seeker, but I still got an answer, we don't know. Then all of a sudden, last month, we get these resolutions. Well, everybody knew, somebody knows what we're going to do out there. However, I, as a legislator on the Public Works Committee, it's never been communicated to me. I called our chairman, Bill Ricard, and I said, do you think we could lay this aside for a month so that somebody could tell us what's going on at Lawson Lake? And he said, well, let me check around a little bit. And lo and behold, the Public Works Committee decided to put it out. Actually, the chair came to the committee and said that she had made a visit out there. She knew what was going on, although to this day, you know, we were going to set up something for the members to go out there, some sort of briefing. That never happened. Well, you know something? At some point in time, you get tired of asking what is going on. When we had the Capital Review Committee, I think we had bids out on the street. And we were told nobody knows what's going on. At least that's what the legislature was told. Or that's what we were told at a committee meeting. So I'm going to vote no. Not because I don't support recreation, and not because, and I have many of the concerns that Mark has and other people about us getting in the hospitality business. But I think we've got to say to folks, please tell us what you're going to do before we spend $4 million. Wouldn't everybody love to have $4 million for a project and not tell everybody what's going to happen or what's going on? I don't know. I'm going to be voting no, Madam Chairman.
Mr. Ricard.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for allowing me to speak on this matter. As the chairman of the Public Works Committee, I'm extremely disappointed in the comments that have been from my Republican colleagues. For anyone to insinuate, or shall I say, attempt to create a false narrative that I, as the chairman of the Public Works Committee, didn't know what's going on, that can't be false. It's not what happened. One of the legislators did call me up and we were both inside of the aisle. So I said, well, let me get the answer to that. I reached out to the county executive staff. I relayed that information back to the individual. And by the way, I'm going to go back and say, a couple of my Democratic colleagues had questions on this too, which I answered for them too. So I got the information from the county executive staff. I relayed it. Then the county executive staff came to our meeting, explained it to everybody, and I thought everybody understood what was going on. But now we come here this evening, and now there's some kind of conspiracy. We don't know what's going on. That's just not true. It's patently false and not true. With that said, County Executive McCoy has been working with the county legislature to make restoring and renovating Boston's Lake a top priority by transforming it into a hidden gem, for lack of a better term. The primary focus over the last 12 years has been the lower camp at Boston's Lake. I think everybody agrees with that. It's obviously started before I was in the legislature. However, more recently, County Executive McCoy has turned the county's attention to the upper camp across the street to unlock the potential of a piece of property that is sat vacant and unused for far too long. The project that is being voted on tonight will help us renovate the existing cabins
and dining hall at the upper camp. Restoring a piece of park that will allow us to expand programs and services to county residents. Isn't that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. There's no conspiracy theory. We're supposed to help out our residents. That's our job as legislators, one of our jobs. This is going to serve men, women, children, and families in need. So we serve, isn't it? I just hope that my colleagues who believe in investing in parks and recreation, economic development, and quality services for Albany County residents will support this overall phase of the Watson Lake project this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Demolowitz.
I'm going to take you back to the mid-'60s in Albany when a little Polish boy on 2nd Street was growing up. Back then, we had the Arbor Hill Community Center. We had Arbor Hill Bay Group, we had Arbor Hill Little League, we had the Place Club, Delaware Avenue, Livingston Avenue. These kids have none of that today. Most importantly, which everybody in our block went to, was Camp Thatcher. Camp Thatcher was run by the Boys Clubs of Albany. It was for, I guess I was one of them, an underprivileged child when I was growing up. We didn't know we were underprivileged when we were growing up, but we were. And when we went to Camp Thatcher, we went for 2 weeks, right? We did 60s now. Maybe you probably weren't even born yet. And we go up there for 2 weeks, have a great time, swimming and everything on Thompson's Lake. And they got people who got us all out of the city. They got us up in the country, walking around camping. It was great. That's gone. You know, we had Lynn Park on Northern Boulevard. People, you know, I-90 wiped that all out. Arbor Hill Little League, Arbor Hill Bay Group, Arbor Hill Community Center, Lynn Park, all gone because of I-90 going through. Yeah. Wiped it all out. So what do these kids do today? They run around the streets, these 12 and 13-year-old kids, and they get in trouble. Because there's no structure, organized programs for these kids to do. They get them out of the city. They get them to do something. The county executive has this vision, because he grew up on Delaware Avenue. He grew up in Albany. He knows what it's like. That's why he's so adamant about making this program go forward. Because he knows what it can do for the kids today and the future kids of the coming in the future. You know, so I hope we all can support this and get those 12 and 13-year-old kids off the street. And so what's wrong with that?
Mr. Drake.
Thanks. You know, just listening to colleagues, it sounds like what we need here is a public/nonprofit/private partnership to help, like you mentioned, the Boys Club and the Boy Scouts and different groups that were running these programs. What we're doing, what we're contemplating here, though, is stepping in as just the government to do it. I don't know that that's the right answer. I think there's a need. Absolutely. I agree with everything you said here. But we're not really in the hospitality business. We're not in the campus business. We're in the business of running the government, and we're also in the business of being fiduciaries of taxpayer money. And I think that while spending money on kids is not a bad thing, that isn't directly what we're doing. We're spending money on infrastructure, we're spending money on improvements. Also, it's a lot of money. I mean, I'm in this business. It doesn't cost, $4 to $5 million to fix up some cabins. We're doing a lot more than that. I think we need to be honest about that. And that's okay, except we shouldn't be the ones doing it. If we want to provide Awesome Lake as an opportunity for Boys and Girls Clubs, for athletic clubs, for scouting, for any of the things that can get kids off the couch, out of the streets, I think that's phenomenal. I think we should be doing that. But we already have a lower camp. It's not well attended. I think we have a park that isn't well attended by citizens. So, I was just when I was listening to our Commissioner of Finance talking about interest rates and staying out of debt and all those things, and I'm asking her questions about arbitrage. And you think about it, if we can make 5.38% on $4 million, it's $225,000 a year that comes back to the taxpayer, which could in fact be used to run camps for kids. If we think about how we steward our money a little bit, I think alternatives come into view. Maybe a smaller scale project. Again, a partnership with agencies that are in the business of doing camps for kids. But what this was proposed as in the master plan is a much broader thing with hospitality and dining and conventions. We're going to build a stadium at Liberty Park. We've got the Capitol Center. We've got the arena. We've got places to do conventions. But we also have out there all these private businesses offering these things that pay taxes, sales tax, which drives our budget, pay property tax, school taxes, which is great for kids. So I don't think we should be competing with those entities out there, our constituents. I think we should be in the government business and let someone else be in the hospitality business and facilitate through the properties that we own the ability to provide programming for youth all day long. And do this with a public-private partnership where those groups can invest with only what they need to invest to make that a good experience for those kids and come up with just a little bit better way. Just looking at it, we're getting into sort of a recession here. I know people don't want to hear that word, but we're doing great as a county. Let's stay that way because it's our job to serve our citizens every year. So we need the cash flow. We need to stay out of debt. I don't think we should be squandering this kind of money on this type of project when we don't need it and when we can bring in a partner who would gladly do that and we can help them. So we shouldn't be in the dining, hotel, and conference business. And again, I think helping youth is important. We can do it a different way. Thank you.
Ms. Plotsky.
Thanks, Madam Chairman. Lawson Lake is sort of my front yard. It's a couple miles from my house, so that's where I take my dog for walks and take my kayak, and that's we bring horseback all through Lawson Lake Hills and across all the territory there. I attend it as frequently as possible. Whenever I'm there, there's other people there, so there is attendance. I would kind of challenge that it's not highly attended. If you live there, you're at the park. It's the nicest place in town. People love it. I had a meeting with neighbors today, and I asked what questions do you have, what's going on with the legislature, so what's on tonight? I mentioned Lawson Lake. They said, oh great, what's going on? I said, we want to invest in rehabilitating the Upper Canton. I went to Girl Scout. So harking back a few decades ago, I won't say how many decades for her sake, but that's when it was a vibrant place that kids would go and have their summer experience and learn things outside of the norm. Get them out of the city, out of town, into the country. So I will support this. So I hope you all will as well tonight. I think it's a great thing for our county. The place has been, the Upper Camp has been neglected for a long time. So I think this is a good investment, and if we have the money, we should follow through on this. Thank you.
Mr. Moriello.
As Mr. Grimmett noted, he and I took a drive out there Saturday morning. Beautiful part of the country, absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if it's really a lake, it's called more of a pond. It's a bit small. We drove through the lower camp and then through the upper camp. My concern is that we're investing money. We're going to be obligating the county to invest money into this area, this park, into the future. We don't know how much money we're going to invest. We're starting at $4 million now. How much are we going to need to continue to improve that park? We're really not sure ourselves. Right now, as we heard from our county controller, the county is on solid fiscal ground, which is wonderful. So we can afford this right now. What's going to happen maybe 5, 10 years from now? Maybe we are in a recession. Maybe sales tax revenue is lower. Maybe we have to start using our reserves. Are we going to have the finances at that time to continue to invest in Lawson Lake? So I think Mr. Drake had the right idea. If you have a public-private type of partnership, that would be the best way to go. And actually, private businesses can manage things much better than the government can. Just look at the post office as an example. So my concern is not so much spending the money today because we can afford to do so. What's going to happen in the future? How much more money are we going to have to spend and allocate in the future? Will we have the money to do so at that time? Thank you.
Mr. Furley.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm going to be voting yes on this measure, in part because we've heard Lawson Lake referred to as out there. Well, I represent areas that are much further out there than Lawson Lake is. And those of us out there are used to seeing our tax dollars come in here. So the opportunity to have $1 million or so bucks go out there is something, frankly, I won't vote against. However, the primary reason that I'll be voting yes is, since I got here to this body, I've been advocating for a greater focus on parks and recreation and natural resource, and the astute strategic protection of our endangered natural areas that are unique to Albany County, that are in danger, and that properly managed can be used as a driver for economic development in a part of the county that desperately needs it, particularly in our struggling villages and hamlets in the western part of the county. That said, I'll vote yes with some hesitation in this case, because I'm not sure that developing the former camp cottages at Blossom Lake is an astute and strategic plan to achieve the environmental objectives, or whether building out the campus there at Blossom Lake is going to do anything to stimulate any economic development for the hamlets or villages of the western part of the town. I say I'm not sure because I don't know. I don't really know what the plan is. I've heard more tonight. Even that's not specific. I have great confidence and great affection for our County Executive McCoy, but Dan McCoy's vision to help people in need is not a plan for county parks. What we need is a more comprehensive plan in this county. Our funds for parks, recreation, and historic preservation and natural preservation are modest and they're limited. The $3.7 million, even just as a starting point, is a lot of money. Is the location and the convenience of Blossom Lake the best site to address the growing recreation needs of a county of 300,000 people? I don't know. If the justification is protecting a unique or endangered natural asset, is the county property there particularly unique compared, say, with Cohoes Falls, or French's Hollow on the Normanskill, or the Hudson Riverfront in downtown Albany or in Waterville? I don't know. Will significant new investment of our limited park dollars on development of Blossom Lake be the best likely result in creating new economic development in the areas of the county that needs it? I just don't know. Will we be following the model of places that succeeded, like Saratoga County and the Finger Lakes, that have targeted their parks and recreation funds to develop economic growth and have really transformed those regions? I don't know, and I don't know the answers to these questions because I don't think anyone has really asked these questions. These type of questions need to be asked because committing millions of dollars in one place without the benefit of a comprehensive countywide plan for parks is an opportunity cost for other areas all throughout the county that might be a better, more efficient, more effective use of those taxpayer funds. I'll be voting yes tonight, I imagine with most of my other colleagues. But starting tomorrow, I'll be looking for co-sponsors for new legislation to establish a blue ribbon Public Legislative Citizens Commission to assess the comprehensive recreation and preservation needs throughout the entire county, the needs and the opportunities in this area, and to develop objective criteria and standards to guide us when, where, and how we would spend these precious public dollars. I think with that type of benefit, when we are asked these questions, we'll be able to come up with more solid answers and know that we're spending the taxpayers' money wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. Long roll call, please.
Beston.
In favor.
Bergdorf.
Nay.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
Nay.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake. Efacoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
No.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaRilliard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
No.
Muriello.
No.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Petto.
Yes.
Purley.
Yes.
Plosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Rosano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
No.
$27 yes, 7 no.
Thank you. Resolution passes. Please read 252, please.
Authorizing an agreement with CKM Electrical Services for electrical construction services for the Lawson Lake Upper Camp renovation project.
Long roll call, please. Yeah.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Nay.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
No.
Efficoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
No.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaWilliard.
Yes.
LaWilliard. Sorry.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
No.
Mariello.
No.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto.
Yes.
Purley.
Yes.
Plasky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
No.
27 yes, 7 no.
Resolution passes. Please read 253.
Authorizing an agreement with T. McEllie Gott to provide mechanical construction services for the Lawson Lake Upper Camp renovation project.
Long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
No.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
No.
Efficoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
No.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaWilliard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
No.
Mariello.
No.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto.
Yes.
Purley.
Yes.
Plasky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
No.
27 yes, 7 no.
Resolution passes. Please read 254.
Authorizing an agreement with Colette Mechanical to provide plumbing construction services for the Lawson Lake Upper Camp renovation project.
Long roll call.
Beston.
In favor.
Bergdorf.
No.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake. Efficoro.
Yes.
Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
No.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaRilla.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
No.
Mariello.
No.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Purley.
Yes.
Plasky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
No.
27 yes, 7 no.
Resolution passes. Please read 255.
Authorizing the purchase of GPS licenses from Samara and amending the 2024 Department of Public Works budget.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 256.
Authorizing an agreement with Blue One Energy Equipment regarding the purchase and installation of a fueling station for the Colony Highway Garage.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 257.
Authorizing supplemental agreement number 3 with MJ Engineering and Land Surveying for design and construction services for the Waterville Shaker Road Improvement Project.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 258.
Authorizing the acceptance of reimbursement funds for emergency support related to the Interstate Mutual Aid Program.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 259.
Authorizing an agreement with Motion Industries for the purchase of a truck-mounted road sign and amending the 2024 Department of Public Works budget.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 260.
Authorizing an agreement with Collin Industries regarding the annual hauling and placing contract.
All those in favor? Oh,
Please note my abstention.
thank you. One abstention. All those in favor with one abstention? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 261, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Tracy Road Equipment regarding the purchase of 4 Western Star tandem dump trucks.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 262.
Authorizing an agreement with Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation, National Grid, New York State for the interconnection of solar panels.
All those in favor with one abstention by Mr. Joyce. All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 263.
Authorizing an agreement with John Danforth Company regarding HVAC upgrades to the Albany County Marillac Shelter.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 264.
Authorizing preschool education service agreements for young children with special needs.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 265.
Authorizing an agreement with Schenectady County regarding the provision of evaluation services for the Children with Special Needs program.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 266.
Authorizing preschool special education provider agreements for the young children with disabilities.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 267.
Authorizing agreements with Spotted Zebra Learning Center and Achievements regarding individualized education programs for young children with disabilities.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 268.
Amending the 2024 Department for Children, Youth, and Families budget, administrative adjustments.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 269.
Public hearing on proposed modifications to agricultural district numbers 1, 2, and 3.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 270.
Making a seeker determination for the North and South Plant HVAC upgrade project.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 271.
Making a seeker determination for the North Plant Treatment Processing Improvement Project.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 272.
Making a seeker determination for the South Plant Treatment Processing Improvement Project.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 273.
Making a seeker determination for the Sludge Processing Improvement Project.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 274.
Authorizing an agreement with Plaza Linen Services regarding residential laundry services for the Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 275.
Authorizing an agreement with Eastern Heating and Cooling for preventive maintenance of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems at Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 276.
Amending the 2024 Department of Residential Health Care Facilities budget, administrative adjustments.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 277.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application to the New York State Department of Health Bureau of Perinatal, Reproductive, and Sexual Health regarding preventive education.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 278.
Amending Resolution Number 113 for 2021 as amended regarding prevention education and amending the 2024 Crime Victim and Sexual Violence Center budget.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 279.
Amending Resolution Number 184 for 2019 as amended regarding the tuberculosis prevention and control program.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 280.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application to the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee regarding the General Highway Safety Grant Program.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution passes. Looks like we can group items 281 through 294 as they all relate to expenditures from the opioid settlement. Can I have a motion to group? Ms. Lockhart, a second, Mr. Ricard. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion to group passes. On items 281 through 294. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolutions 281 through 294 pass. 295, please.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application to Empire State Development regarding Restore New York Communities Initiative funding.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 296.
Authorizing cancellation of certain unenforceable delinquent real property tax liens on 450 Central Ave in the city of Albany and charge back of the amounts credited in connection with said canceled liens.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 297.
Authorizing cancellation of certain unenforceable delinquent real property tax liens on 76 Osborne Street in the city of Albany and charge back of the amounts credited in connection with said canceled liens.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 298.
Authorizing cancellation of certain unenforceable delinquent real property tax liens on 17 and 17A Corporate Woods Boulevard in the town of Colony and charge back of the amount credited in connection with said liens.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 299.
Declaring various parcels of real property located in the towns of Bern and Rensselaerville no longer necessary for public use.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 300.
Authorizing the conveyance of various parcels of real property located in the towns of Bern and Rensselaerville.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. Okay, we need to handle the capital program before we get to the bonds within it. Can I have a motion to take 308 out of order? Mr. Demolowitz, a second from Mr. Miller. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion to take it out of order passes. Clerk, please read Resolution 308.
Adopting the Albany County Capital Program for 2025 to 2029.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Resolution 308 passes. Please read, well, we can do long roll call on 301. Long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Burdorf.
Yes.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake. Efacoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaRillard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Murriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Hurley.
Yes.
Flosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Rosano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Bond Resolution 301 passes. Bond Resolution 302. Long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Burdorf.
Yes.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz. Drake.
Yes.
Efacoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm. Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Kuhn.
Yes.
LaRillard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Murriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Hurley.
Yes.
Flosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson. Rosano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen. Unanimous.
303, please. Long roll call vote.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins.
Yes.
Camiso.
Yes.
Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz. Drake.
Yes.
F.
Yes.
Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham. Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRillier.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Pearlie.
Yes.
Flosky. Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
303 is adopted, as was 302. 304, please, long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
F.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce. Coon.
Yes.
LaRillier.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto.
Yes.
Pearlie.
Yes.
Flosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
304 is adopted. 305, please, long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
F.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yep.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRillier.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Pearlie.
Yes.
Flosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
305 is adopted. 306, please, long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz. Drake.
Yes.
Epicoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce. Coon.
Yes.
LaRillier.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto.
Yes.
Pearlie.
Yes.
Flosky. Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
306 adopted, and 307, long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz. Drake.
Yes.
Epicoro.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRillier.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart. Moriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Aye.
Peto. Pearlie.
Yes.
Flosky.
Yes.
Reedy. Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
307 is adopted. 309, please.
Establish an Albany County remote work, telework policy for county employees.
We're going to refer that to personnel and rules reform. 310, please.
Requested the New York State Legislature to enact Assembly Bill number A9865A/Senate Bill number S9077A regarding the 6.5% hotel-motel occupancy tax in Albany County.
There was an update to the language of this resolution, which had been placed at your desks. All those in favor on the updated resolution? Any opposed? Resolution passes. 311, please.
Requiring programmatic information and requests for legislative action and codifying existing practices.
We're going to refer that to Rules Reform and the Law Committee.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
On 310, we voted to update the bill, but we didn't vote on the bill, did we?
I'm sorry?
We voted to update the bill, its language, but we didn't vote on the actual bill. Am
We
I
voted
correct?
on the updated language.
The language was adjusted before we started tonight.
she made you aware of the update. You voted on it as updated.
It seemed to me that we were voting on the update, approving the update.
No, we got it. We voted on the updated language. Okay, 312, please.
Amending the 2024 Albany County budget, legislative administrative adjustments.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. Okay, 313. The language on this item had also been updated. The new language is at your desk. All those in favor of the updated language resolution? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution passes. Okay, 314, please.
Public hearing on proposed local law number G for 2024, a local law of the Albany County, New York, amending the Albany County Charter and local law number 8 for 1993, as amended for the purpose of creating the position of Deputy Chairperson of the Albany County Legislature.
We're going to refer this to the Law Committee and the Rules Reform Committee. 315.
Ominous resolution dated May 13, 2024, a resolution rescinding certain prior bond resolutions adopted by the County of Albany, New York.
Long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins. Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demalowitz. Drake. Efacoro.
Yes.
Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham. Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRilliard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Murriello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller. Petto. Hurley.
Yes.
Plosky. Reedy. Ricard. Robinson. Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson. Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Resolution passes. 316.
Making a secret determination and reauthorizing the purchase of real property known as the Switzkill Farm located at 165 Game Farm Road in the town of Bern.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. 318.
Public hearing on proposed local law number H for 2024. 17. Making a seeker determination and reauthorizing the purchase of real property known as the Gateway Sports Complex in the city of Cohoes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Now 318.
Public hearing on proposed local law number H for 2024, a local law of the County of Albany imposing additional wireless communication surcharges pursuant to the authority of tax law section 186G.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Okay. Items 230 to 236. These are the items that were re-examined through an enhanced due diligence process and then approved by the ARPA Executive Committee. Are there any requests to take items off the consent agenda? Hearing none. All of those in favor of the consent agenda? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. That's 230 to 236. Okay. Local laws. Clerk, please read local law A for 2024.
A local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 106 of the Albany County Code, setting forth requirements for facilities within Albany County where the local governmental unit identified by New York State is the Albany County Department of Mental Health.
Okay, long roll call.
Beston.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
Efficore.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRilliard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
No.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Mariello.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Miller.
Nay.
Nay, yes?
No.
No. Petto. Purley.
Yes.
Plosky. Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
32 yes, 2 no.
Local Law A passes. Please read Local Law C for 2024.
A local law of the County of Albany, New York, criminalizing rental fraud.
Long roll call.
Beston. Bergdorf.
Yes.
Clary. Collins.
Yes.
Camiso. Conway.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Demolowitz. Drake.
Yes.
Efficore.
Yes.
Ethier.
Yes.
Feeney.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Grimm.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Ray Joyce.
Yes.
Coon.
Yes.
LaRilliard.
Yes.
Lakakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Mariello.
Yes.
McLaughlin. Miller.
Aye.
Petto. Purley.
Yes.
Plosky.
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes.
Ricard.
Aye.
Robinson.
Yes.
Rosano.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Local Law C passes. Local Law G for 2024, we're going to refer to the Law Committee and the Rules Reform Committee. Local Law H for 2024, we're going to refer to Law. We also have a Rule 11 for an item that didn't make it onto the agenda. It's the funding for the purchase of the Switskill Farm in Bern. Can I have a motion to invoke Rule 11? Mr. Ricard, second by Mr. Demolowitz. All those in favor of invoking Rule 11?
Aye.
Any opposed? Rule 11 is invoked. Clerk, please read Resolution 244.
Authorizing the disbursements of American Rescue Plan funding to and an agreement with the town of Bern and amending the 2024 Albany County budget.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 244 passes. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Kuhn, Mr. Feeney. All those in favor? Any opposed?